Safety Tess, better known as Tess, and that was ridiculous. We are going to talk about misleading music personas. And you may be asking yourself, Tess, I don't get this. What are you talking about? I'm talking about bands you haven't explored maybe, or just are kind of afraid of because their personas make them out to seem very, what's the word I'm looking for? Frightening. This was brought to my attention when I was texting a friend about Alice Cooper, and she was unaware that he was a very wonderful singer, and kind of just looped him into this hole of like kind of what his persona as seen in the media or in the industry to everyday youth that did not grow up in the time period. So I picked two musical acts that I'm very knowledgeable in to explain this, and I think it will help a lot of people who maybe are interested in getting into older music or just interested in these certain bands and are kind of like confused whether or not they're like frightening. You wanted the best, you got the best. The hottest band in the world. Kiss!
Gene Simmons, Peter Criss, Paul Stanley, Ace Frehley.
I've seen Kiss live before and I've always wanted to say that, so there you go. Kiss is a very misleading band because of the fact that they wear makeup and they almost seem like a gimmick to people. Kiss's main influences were The Who and the Beatles. The Beatles sing harmony, blues, and pop, and The Who were inspired by blues as well. So it's a little weird to think that Kiss would be singing screaming or yelling, profanities, or anything like that to go with their outer persona of 7-inch platform hills and makeup. The scariest thing I think about Kiss would have to be the song God of Thunder, or Gene Simmons and his blood-spewing tongue fire-breathing act during their live show. But this doesn't reflect necessarily on their recorded music. Their recorded music has major harmonies and guitar riffs and stuff you can sing along to. If you didn't know much about Kiss, you wouldn't think automatically would be on this record. Kiss was never liked by critics. There's a great speech at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame when Kiss was inducted that basically encapsulates what happened with Kiss, where critics didn't like them, and if you did like them, you were made fun of, and people seem to forget that they are like the pioneers of what you know as the massive, big show now, like Lady Gaga and Katy Perry, and so on and so forth, if I could think of any more. Shania Twain, man, she was like Kiss too. Even the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame didn't induct them for a long time, almost 15 years, because they thought they were a gimmick band and didn't actually deserve a spot in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, when quite frankly many bands were inspired by Kiss, which they talk about in the inductee speech, which I will link below so that you can see some of the influence that Kiss has had on other people. Kiss passed over many genres. Take their very popular song Rock and Roll All Night and Party Every Day. It's more of an homage to old rock and roll with its harmonies and light riffs than it is to all the heavy metal that they're associated with. Then you have I Was Made for Loving You, which is a disco track. It was their response to disco, and hey, it was disco. And then one of their biggest selling songs of all time is a ballad with a piano, sang by the drummer, Beth, which is my favorite song of all time, by the way. So if there's ever a quiz and you have to answer, what is Safety Tess's favorite song of all time? It's Beth by Kiss. If that's not misleading, I don't know what is. Kiss also did not wear makeup to scare you. Gene has talked about this a lot before, where it was more of a confidence boost, like hiding behind something to present something more fascinating and awesome to the eye. In modern times, it's just like what 21 Pilots does, where they wear masks, or where Tyler has a black neck and black hands to focus on one of his flaws, but also cover it up so you don't feel like you're alone. Same concept, different time period. This leads me to Alice Cooper, the godfather of shock rock.
So if some 14-year-old boy goes home wearing eye makeup saying, hey, Alice Cooper wears it, why can't I wear it?
You got me on the run. I'm driving in my car now. I got you under my wheels. I got you under my wheels. I got you under my wheels.
Now, I'm not saying his live show is not frightening. It has guillotines and electric chairs and swords, but it's also a journey through a nightmare. Some of Alice Cooper's biggest influences were the Beach Boys, the Beatles, the Stones, and even the Kinks, and the Who. This man sings power ballads and goes into falsetto. Have you ever had a heavy metal band that was just like falsetto the whole time? I don't think so. One of his biggest albums, Welcome to My Nightmare, is actually a song journey from a perspective of a child named Steven and all the nightmares that he had. In the first opening track, Welcome to My Nightmare, there's even a line that says, "I think you feel like you're gonna belong." And Alice Cooper wore makeup because it was an accident. He was playing at Max's Kansas City and he got into a hotel room across the street from Max's Kansas City. One of the people that he was with noticed that there was a poster for a show or something going on with a clown with spider makeup on. The person that was with him noticed that that was impacting from even like a high floor across the street. So he went downstairs and got a playbill of this whatever poster that he saw and brought it back up to Alice because Alice hadn't shown interest in it before. And he basically convinced him to try it out because it was so impacting that people maybe from very far rows could see your facial expressions and get what you're trying to say. So Alice went out with like 42 cents between him and his friend and bought eyeliner and tried on this mask or eyeliner makeup, and it just stuck, and it's been there ever since then, and it's not Alice Cooper unless he has his Alice Cooper makeup on. Alice Cooper has always been the man of the outcast. Most of his songs bring light to the fact that he feels trapped and he wants to get out, or he is the outcast and you're not alone. And I never thought that harmonies, falsetto, and guitars made somebody scary, but if your persona that is portrayed seems very scary to someone that's never heard your music, you may never listen. Kiss and even Alice Cooper get looped into these holes. Some other bands that fall into these categories are like Twisted Sister and Black Sabbath. Just because you think that Ozzy Osbourne is the Prince of Darkness does not mean that he doesn't sing ballads over and over and over again. And heck, Twisted Sister covered a song that was a pop 1964 hit by the Shangri-Las, Leader of the Pack. You don't get more not scary than a pop female-led song from 1964 sung by a bunch of guys with makeup on.
Is she really going out with him? Well, there she is. Let's ask her. Betty, is that Jimmy's ring you're wearing? Mm-hmm. Gee, it must be great riding with him. Is he picking you up after school today? Mm-hmm. By the way, where'd you meet him?
I met him at the candy store. Turn around and smile at me and get the picture. Yeah, we see. That's when you fell for leader of the pack.
Leader of the Pack! Even though all these bands are associated with darkness and horror, nobody said you never didn't like that. I'm gonna make a Spotify playlist and I will link it down below. It's gonna have some of my favorite Kiss songs and some of my favorite Alice Cooper songs, and maybe sprinkled in there a couple other associated acts that kind of seem scary, but really they are not. I got this 16 years ago. I recently just got back into my roots as a child. I really loved Kiss Unplugged, and if you guys like acoustic music and you can take a good rock song and make it acoustic, that is Kiss Unplugged, and I will put some of my favorite Unplugged songs in this playlist. I hope this shined a little light on something that I found very interesting, where a persona is portrayed and taken the wrong way when a band maybe necessarily is more like the Beatles than you think they are. If you guys like these kind of videos, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up so that you can maybe see more, because these interesting topics, I feel like I have a lot of random knowledge in, and it'd be fun to explore them with you guys. But until then, have a great day, a great night, and a great life. I'll see you very soon. Bye!
By the way, where'd you meet him?
I met him at the candy store. Turned around and smiled at me. You get the picture?
Yes, we see.
That's when I fell for leader of the pack.
I am sweating a lot because these lights are so bright. I don't know when to stop.